Daniel, is it wrong to say the Bengals this upcoming year is championship or bust?
No.
Right? Because I really believe that it is. I think that this aura around Joe Burrow is starting to fade a little bit. And I think a lot of that is to no fault of his own. I just think that when you've seen him get injured, having two season-ending injuries, um, not breakthrough, obviously, went to the Super Bowl, didn't work out for them. AFC Championship, lost to the Kansas City Chiefs. Something's got to give, right? It's a failure, I think, if you don't break through this year. Because you franchise tag wide receiver T. Higgins with the thought process that, hey, we're going all in. You bring in a guy like Mike Gesicki, who is not getting a lot of hype, but I think he's going to do wonders for this Bengals offense. You bring that guy in on one-year deal to solidify the tight end position so you don't reach in the draft for a tight end, but gives you a true weapon. You still got Jamar Chase in the fold who's coming up on a contract extension. You get younger at the running back position. You add one of the more explosive running backs from this past season in Zach Moss to pair up with your young back in Chase Brown. You add to the offensive line and you sign a tackle with a championship pedigree in Trent Brown. You add to the defense. You do all these different things to say that, hey, we're in on winning a championship right now. Anything short of that is a failure. Anything short of that is a letdown. And I'm not trying to put more pressure on that team, but at some point you got to get it right. They have tried and tried and tried to fix the offensive line. This year, this offseason, no different. They tried to add Lyle Collins, didn't work out, back injuries, yada, yada. Tore up his knee. That didn't work out. But this has to be the year that the Bengals finally break through. The Chiefs, all the while that they're still always going to be competitive as long as 15 is their quarterback, I don't know if they improve that much. I love the addition of Hollywood Brown. I think the Bills got weaker. I do. I think the Bills got weaker. People may look at it as a hot take. I don't. Bills got weaker. The Jets or whatever. The Ravens, did they get weaker? They lost their defensive coordinator. So one can make that argument that they did get a little weaker. I don't think that they improved drastically. They added Derrick Henry, an aging running back, who was in his 30s, but that was much more of a fanfare signing than it was to actually compete for a championship, if you ask me. The point I'm trying to make is what other team is there to break through? Maybe the Houston Texans, all right? The Texans, I like the move that they made. But I still would pick the Bengals right now over the Houston Texans. So my thought process is this should be the year for the Bengals. This should be the year for the Bengals to break through. Joe Burrow's coming back from injury. You have a better overall offense surrounding him. Less question marks on the offense now. Less question marks on that offensive line. Still could add a tackle in the draft. But if I'm Bengals fans and I'm the Bengals, I'm like, this has to be the year for us. It has to be the year for us. You have to go into it with the motion that next year, we can't worry about next year. We got T. Higgins right now, franchise tag for one more year. Let's win this championship and let him ride off into the sunset, or whatever happens with that situation happens with that situation. Even though the moves that the Bengals have made in the offseason have seemed very minute, they still suggest win now to me. They may not be the splurge of signing a big defensive tackle like Christian Wilkins or something like that, throwing hundreds of $1 billion, but it's still win now moves that they have made. And they've been very under the radar moves. Very under the radar moves. It's moves that if they are able to win, you'll look back and you'll say, damn, that was a big move. That was a big signing. A lot like we look back with the Eagles when the Eagles won their championship and they went out and they signed 18 free agents that offseason. People didn't realize it would pay dividends the following year, but it did. Now, the Bengals didn't sign 18 free agents, but they did sign a crap ton. They've started operating like a true franchise, not holding on to players too long. And so it makes you wonder. It makes me wonder. Are they viewing it the same way that I view it, which is this season is championship or bust?
If I'm looking at how the Bengals are viewing this, they're viewing this as, to put it simply, You have a top 5 roster right now. That is what you can confirm. I look at this roster. You can win a Super Bowl with this roster. Yes, they have a hole at right tackle, sure. Yes, they have a hole at the defense tackle, sure. You can win a Super Bowl with this roster. It's not perfect, no, but you have continuity of the coaching staff. We talk about how important it is to have continuity on your offensive line. You have a freaking star quarterback, Malik, a star quarterback in Joe Burrow. You have not paid Jamar Chase yet. Joe Burrow's contract has not kicked in. So, yes, like they can win it in the future, sure, but you got to focus. Like we got to focus right now, and now's the time. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. You can put this roster toe-to-toe. You can put this team toe-to-toe with any team, and they should win the Super Bowl this year. And anything less than that, yes, is going to be a letdown. And to be quite frank with you, you talked about aura, right? Joe Burrow's aura. This may sound short-sighted, right? This may sound like I'm overlooking the division, but you just cannot lose to the Chiefs in the playoffs. I'm going to be honest. Because if you lose to the Chiefs in the playoffs, that's how, a future dynasty for Joe Burrow winning multiple championships. In my opinion, that's how it goes out the window. If you lose to the Chiefs in the playoffs, I think that's how it goes out the window, to be honest.
What do you mean?
Because they're the team right now. The Chiefs are the A-list. They are the standard right now. Mm-hmm. And if you go out and lose to the Chiefs, right?
But they already did.
In the playoffs. Okay, but that was before the Bengals were really in their prime. The Bengals weren't in the prime that year, right? Their offensive line was hurt. I think if you go out and lose to the Chiefs this year, this is your year that you're supposed to go out and get it. If you lose to the Chiefs this year, the aura of, we can beat the Chiefs, or that we're the team that's going to dethrone them. If you lose to them this year, I think it's a bad sign for the Bengals.
Well, I understand where you're coming from. I don't think, to be honest with you, I think roster to roster, the way it stacks up, I think the Bengals are the better roster, head and shoulders. Losing L'Jarius Sneed hurts the Chiefs. Obviously, maybe they go out and they draft another cornerback. Who knows? The fact of the matter is, I don't think the Chiefs. I'm not looking at them. I'm looking at the Bengals. They've got to, first and foremost, before you can even worry about the Chiefs, you got to win your division. Completely. You got to start faster. You can't lose early in the season. And a lot of those lost seasons come down to Joe Burrow not being the healthiest to start the season. Whether it be, hey, the COVID year happened, so it was a wonky start. Then you had the ACL tear, so you weren't able to get a fast track. Then you had the Achilles or a calf issue, whatever it was. To me, there was a lot of things prohibiting him from having a fast start, which kind of bled into the start of their season. They can't have that this year. They need him to start fast. We've never seen what this Bengals football team could look like if they have a fast start. Yeah. And I think that's where I don't think it has anything to do with, respectfully, I hear where you're coming from. I don't think it has anything to do with this. I think they need to focus on the finer details, which means, of course, starting faster, which means beating the teams in your division. You can't have one win in your entire division. That's just cannot happen. And it can't come in week 18, against a rundown team that, has nothing really to fight for anymore. So they're throwing their third string and their backups. So you're playing against Jeff Driscoll, whatever it was. Like, that can't happen. To me, this team needs to start fast. Yeah. Joe Burrow needs to prove to everybody, but more so to himself, that, hey, I am who everybody thought I was. I am who this organization believed I was when they spent the first overall pick on me. I think it comes down to that. And I think it is not getting in their own way. I think the Bengals have shot themselves in the foot a lot, and I think they try to make up ground towards the end of the season, which it has worked for them. We've seen them rattle off 10 wins or double-digit wins before as well when they went on the Super Bowl run in order to make this type of run. And I think that this is a thing for them where it does need to work out this year. Yes. But I don't think that I think the one thing I can confidently say is, from what I've seen, is the Kansas City Chiefs have yet to beat a healthy Bengals team. Yeah. The Kansas City Chiefs have yet to beat a healthy Bengals team, whether it be starting offensive line out, you have to pick up offensive linemen off practice squads, or the quarterback is out and you have to start Jake Browning. And even in a Jake Browning situation, that was still a dogfight for them as well. They've yet to beat a healthy Bengals football team. So to me, I think the pressure still is on the Chiefs to prove that they can beat this Bengals football team. I don't think it's on the Bengals. I think it's on the Chiefs. I don't think the Bengals have proven that at the Chiefs' most lethal and best that they could beat them. They've proven that. Yes. Already. They proved it in the regular season twice, and they proved it in the playoffs to go on a championship run. That might have been 2 years ago, but it still happened. And that's still a thing that lingered. One of the only quarterbacks to go into Arrowhead Stadium and knock them off. Yes. And I think that this team can do it again. So let us know down in the comment section what you guys think. this make or break year for the Bengals? Or not even make or break. Is this championship or bust, right? Is this like would anything short of a championship be considered a failure? I believe it would be. Let me know in the comment section what you think. If you like more video content like this, give this video a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, turn on post notifications so you guys don't miss when we upload content from the First Star Logistics.